Well, Sony has threatened me with a copyright strike for the intro in the original version of this video. A strike differs from a claim in that the original video gets removed from the site entirely and I lose monetization for 3 months. As my channel is my livelihood and there's no way I can afford to miss 3 months of monetization, I had no choice but to take the video down, remove the intro, and re-upload this intro-less version. The intro can still be seen on my Instagram at thebirdman15. But if you would like to help this channel continue to exist, please consider donating to my Patreon or even clicking the join button and becoming a channel member. I can't do this without your support, especially if it's this easy to silence creators. Thanks.
Previously on Fast and Furious.
So, the sin here is that the movie is picking up directly where the previous film left off and explaining to the audience the situation from a movie 2 years prior. The problem here is that your average moviegoer has the attention span of a gnat and most likely doesn't remember exactly what happened at the end of that film. Hell, they didn't even notice the second "the" in my subtitles.
I said it before in the last Fast and Furious, and I'll say it again. It's amazing how many highway crimes have absolutely zero other traffic on the roads. It's a perfect day for a prison break.
As a California resident, I can tell you, there are many roads like this in the middle of nowhere where you can go miles without seeing another car on the road. The population density is concentrated in the cities, and since Dom is going to Lompoc, I'm willing to give the movie the benefit of the doubt. I've driven to Lompoc before. That shit might as well be a Mad Max setting.
And if I saw 3 souped-up cars blasting down the road while I was transporting prisoners, I'd probably ready my shotgun, maybe even stop the bus, and put the odds ever in my favor.
That's because you are aware that you're watching a Fast and Furious movie. The characters within the film see 3 souped-up cars driving down an empty road. A normal person would assume they're racing each other, not about to break a prisoner off a bus.
Where everyone on board has been accounted for, except for one, Dominic Toretto.
Accounted for? Did anyone die? Is this the most remarkable bus crash ever? This news broadcast montage never once mentions fatalities, which is what the news lives for.
And here's a crash in Detroit where everyone on the bus survived. My point is, it's not impossible for people to have survived something like this, and you gotta remember, we're talking about Fast and Furious. I'd be shocked if anyone did die.
Where Toretto and O'Connor are now is anyone's guess.
With the terrible copying we saw in the last film, couldn't they be in LA having beers at the Toretto home without law enforcement knowing about it?
This is not a sin of this movie. You are speculating something based on previous events in this universe. You're also forgetting that escaping capture and endangering the lives of deputies is a far more serious crime than being on the run for robberies.
How's it feel?
Feels great. Wait a minute, what the f*** are you talking about?
Well, if you would have let the scene play out, you'd have heard what he was talking about, which was, how does it feel to be on the other side of the law? Also, Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Be on the other side of a wanted poster.
Well, you can't really be on any other side of a wanted poster, can you? You can pick any side and you'll still be on a wanted poster. There's no good side.
Is this really what we're doing today?
It looks like you both could use the payday.
Sure, they're poor, so naturally the only possible action to take is Grand Theft Auto.
This is what happens when you remove scenes from their context. Vince is asking for their help in a job he has already committed to. Brian and Mia need money because they're on the run from the law. Regular-ass people in Brazil are struggling to make ends meet. You think wanted Americans are going to be able to get decent-paying jobs out here? Grow up, Peter Pan. Count Chocula.
This stupid heist would never work. The chances of anyone seeing your crew alongside the train are much too high. There are many passengers facing the backside of the train looking out windows and would easily see you.
Then it's a good thing those passengers aren't in the back where the vehicles are. You know, where the heist is taking place? A place they have no real reason to try to look at? And I find it hilarious you're suggesting this would never work, as if you're not watching a Fast and Furious movie. You might as well tell me a man can't build an iron suit in a cave with a box of scraps.
Levando GT40.
Wouldn't the plan be prearranged? Because he says this and isn't careful enough to think Dom speaks Portuguese, Dom gets suspicious, and the whole plan blows up in their faces for no reason.
Jeremy, I don't think Dom needs to speak Portuguese to understand GT40. Not only that, you're misunderstanding the scene. Reyes hired these men who enlisted the help of Vince, who enlisted the help of Brian, Mia, and Dom. To Reyes' men, these guys are all hired hands with no need to know about the contents of the GT40. Revealing that Reyes only wants the Ford means the car is somehow important, which could reveal the location of Reyes' money.
And the method of car theft virtually guarantees massive damage to all 3 vehicles, even though the movie doesn't think so.
It's almost like they're not concerned with the shape the vehicles are in or something.
This car obviously has something in it that these guys want, but why didn't they call some sort of criminal dibs on it before this robbery even started? They could have said, look, you can have any car on that train, but the GT40 is off limits.
And this is precisely why you're not a criminal mastermind, Jeremy, because you would reveal the one place where your money and drugs can be located.
Change your plans. Wait for my call.
They got to Rio yesterday and had no idea until you stepped on this train car you were even coming. What prearranged meeting point could you possibly have under this scenario?
CinemaSins is under the impression that this job was arranged by Dom. He's forgetting that Vince is the one that set this up, and that Vince would have told Dom and the O'Connors where to meet up.
Thing comes out of nowhere to imperil the stuff.
CinemaSins is confused by bridges.
Car stunts that aren't possible are one thing. Humans living through shit like this over and over, that's sinful.
Jeremy would be excellent at being Roman Pierce in F9.
That was your job!
The problem with this movie is that we don't know what the original plan was, who was supposed to do what, or if the plan got changed before they got on the train. They never explain.
The problem with this movie? This is the problem with this movie? Knowing the details of this plan is not the problem with this movie, CinemaSins. What the hell are you people on about? No one walked out of the theater going, yeah, that was probably the best movie in the franchise, but gee, I didn't know the details of a heist they pulled in the first 10 minutes of the movie, so 0 out of 10, elbows too pointy.
I thought the job was for the cars.
This whole movie is predicated on the fact that Dom overheard ZZ say he wanted the GT40 and got suspicious. Because of this suspicion, it leads to a chain of events that didn't need to happen. Why did Dom care if they stole that particular car or not? Why does he care if it has a chip in it? Was he worried that once the bad guys took the GT40, they were going to get screwed over or even killed? We don't know. Nothing is implied or explicitly stated.
Wrong. It is implied. Prior to ZZ stating he wanted to take the GT, they had been communicating with the rest of the crew in English. Once he started speaking to his crewmates in a different language, he's implying there's something he doesn't want the Americans to understand, hinting at the value of the GT. Remember, Dom is doing this so that they'll have some money while they're on the run, and if they're keeping the most valuable car away from them, there has to be a reason. He has no reason to trust these people, so yeah, they could be trying to screw him and his family. Dom only finds out about the chip because he catches Vince pulling it out of the car.
Wilkes, I want a list of every place within 50 miles.
Bus crash, prisoner escape, train accident, marshal barking out orders. This movie is The Fugitive.
Well, this role was initially intended for Tommy Lee Jones, but why is that a bad thing again? Oh, you just wanted to point out that you saw some similarities in the two films? Gotcha.
2 full minutes of discount Bourne Ultimatum.
2 full seconds of Jeremy making a pop culture reference that isn't a...
Dom did not lose this freaking necklace. Last time we saw him, it was perfectly fine around his neck and no danger of slipping off.
But he did lose this freaking necklace because here it is, all lost and shit. Why do you constantly put forth the idea that a movie has to show you every single thing when an implication will do? You're literally here asking for a scene of Dom's necklace falling off, stating that couldn't have happened while he was running from being shot by 2 different groups.
All these guys are his names on a list. They come up, we take them down. Not a phone call more, not a bullet less.
Whatever that means. I know you mean we don't ask any further questions, but...
And let me stop you right there because you have just answered yourself.
We're gonna do one last job. We're gonna take all of Riz's money.
Here's the Fast and the Furious franchise officially turning the keys over to Ocean's 11.
And earlier, the Fugitive reference, and now an Ocean 11's plug? If I didn't know any better, I would have thought you stole these references from an article written in the Salt Lake Tribune. But since you gleefully steal sins from the IMDb Goose section, I'm going to deem this one plausible.
We're gonna take all of Riz's money, every dime of it, and disappear.
Why not just disappear? Wouldn't that be easier and safer? I guess you might need money to start a new life somewhere, but Jesus, if you're that addicted to stealing, I think I'm gonna have to start considering you the bad guys of this series.
Couple things. Firstly, they are the bad guys of this series. They have committed every crime you can be punished for in the state of Oklahoma. Second, I don't blame Dom for wanting revenge on the guy who just sent armed men to kill him and his sister. Third, the entire reason Dom is on the run currently is because he is a thief. I would ask if you've seen The Fast and the Furious, but I see that you've seen that movie, so the answer is obviously no.
Also, how are you going to coordinate and communicate with all these people while The Rock is actively seeking you out? And what? None of your former associates are being bugged or followed or anything?
Jeremy is doing the thing where he knows the movie will do what he's saying they aren't currently doing so that he can later say, oh, now they're doing it. Because, of course, Hobbs does eventually check known associates of Dom and Brian. The problem is, there hasn't been a need to follow Roman because he was acquitted of his prior crimes due to the events of Too Fast, Too Furious. Following Tej makes no sense because he's not exactly a criminal. You might as well ask them to follow Suki. She broke more laws than Tej did.
Whoa, fellas. I know my tags are out of date, but damn.
Sexy legs, baby girl. What time do they open?
Jesus, even we wouldn't say some bullshit like this, but movie gets away with it because I have no idea.
Says Roman gets away with it while showing a scene of him not getting away with it. Besides, you've gone on to say worse. You think I've forgotten about that bullshit you said in the Aquaman video?
Also, this is a convergence of all the franchises. Now we have Too Fast, Too Furious and Tokyo Drift thrown into this mess. Eventually, they'll all be joined by the Expendables.
That is hilariously wrong. You just implied that Tokyo Drift and Too Fast, Too Furious are different franchises. Even a flat earther can see the problem with that, and those motherfuckers are retarded. Sorry, PB, you can no longer say that word, or else you'll be canceled. Don't know how, because we don't have a boss, but hey, like life, Twitter finds a way. Okay, let's try this again. Even a flat earther can see the problem with that, and those motherfuckers think the moon gives off cold light.
Invadiram a casa do Leblon.
Random Reyes soldier plays the pronoun game with Reyes so that he has to ask who the hell they are.
Yeah, that's a little shaky. I mean, this guy has to play the pronoun game because he wasn't involved in the train heist and has no real idea who the Fast crew actually are.
There's no reason to simply up the security or have more guys guarding it. Nope, just put it all in one place. Why not?
I mean, when that one place is a vault inside a police station, yeah, why not?
If he's moving into a police station, he's got some serious brass in his pocket.
Kinda makes you wonder why he bothers with 10 different secret money houses if he can just openly stash his cash in the police station.
This is addressed in the film. Not every cop in the city is dirty. In order to do this, Reyes has to pay money to the police. If I was an unscrupulous drug lord, I would try to keep as much money as I can, especially because almost every drug lord eventually gets busted anyway.
The beauty of public offices, public records.
Even in Brazil? It took the US until the Freedom of Information Act for most to become public, and even then I'm not sure police station blueprints count.
At the time of your video's creation, the US Freedom of Information Act was 48 years old. I'm not sure why you thought that was relevant at all. Besides, Brazil's version of this is in Article 5 of their constitution. And here are literal blueprints for a police station here in California. You don't know what you're talking about.
The movie depicts exactly what it's like watching these movies.
As I mentioned before, CinemaSins base their sins of movies on what the general public thinks about a movie, so a film like The Shining would get praised, and a film like Batman and Robin will get dunked on. Occasionally, however, they'll get their feelers crossed and try shitting on great movies, and that's what's happening here, because clearly they don't realize they're talking about the best film in the franchise.
O'Connor, let's go get some cars.
Okay, but just as a reminder, this is all just for revenge. You're doing all this to steal from a dude that f***ed with you one time over a car that you were in the act of stealing. Thinnest premise ever.
Any movie can be broken down in that way. Inception is about a guy that wants to go home. Space Jam is an ad for shoes. Two Girls, One Cup is a cautionary tale about the lack of toilet paper. The premise doesn't really matter. All that matters is the execution of said premise.
Yes, let's collectively enjoy the hot asses of girls who aren't my sister that you knocked up.
What, he can't look? You might want to check your panties for a vagina, bro, because men don't get mad at shit like this.
Where'd you get that from? Papa Smurf?
Okay, Tyrese, we need to talk. I'm beginning to wonder if you even deserve to keep earning paychecks. Please call me.
Says the guy that constantly makes horrible jokes in these videos. If I ran a poll asking people who was funnier, Tyrese in Fast and Furious or CinemaSins, the responses would be like,
Who?
So did he just like slap that ass, or did he like grab and hold on to it?
I know you're kidding, but no. It was like he was actually trying to help you rob him with the way he touched her ass.
Jeremy doesn't know how to grab an ass cliche. I mean, Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Guys, we have a problem.
Yeah, the whole team just got burnt.
You mean just now? That's convenient, since we saw all of you getting investigated 17 minutes ago in movie time, which is like an eternity in real time. This did not just happen, despite the movie wishing it did.
But this is the team just now finding out about it. Besides, how long do you think it takes to issue a warrant based on almost no evidence, as it happened in this movie? My guess is about 17 movie minutes.
You turn around and put your hands behind your back.
I don't think so.
Seems like he could have waited this out and got Dom and Brian later when there weren't so many people around, but that's just me.
Why the hell would a law enforcement officer wait until there are no people around to arrest someone? Dude, do you think about anything before you say it? When was the last time you saw police officers turn away because the fugitive was around regular people? This isn't even the part of the scene where it's revealed these people are on their side yet.
Guys, I don't know if you realize it, but this is the moment when the stars of The Pacifier and Tooth Fairy finally squared off.
CinemaSins, ladies and gentlemen, the channel that just tried to clown Tyrese for bad jokes.
Next 2 lights.
Isn't this a pretty f***ing stupid race? Aren't all 4 of these cars identical? Shouldn't this end in a 4-way tie?
That isn't how races work. A race isn't so much about the car you're driving, but how you're driving your car. This is the entire concept of every regulated motorsport.
Wait, hold on a second. So Did he just smack the ass or did he grab him?
Haha, that's an inside joke that we don't know the context for, but hilarious nonetheless.
Except they do have the context because they were literally in the same scene when Tej said it. Remember the team being burned scene that you were crying about?
Super important cop mission goes out the window for mano-a-mano fisticuffs.
Sinning The Rock versus Vin Diesel. That's worth these many sins.
Look how many poor people in this poor part of Rio have f***ing satellite television.
CinemaSins demonstrating once again that they have no clue about other parts of the world. This is a photograph of a favela, a far more poor section of Brazil than the one shown in the movie. Notice how there are a ton of satellite dishes?
It's a suicide mission. That's your man over there on the table.
Yeah, but the original plan didn't even include him, right?
It's almost like you don't like Tyrese so much you ignored his line right before the one you're replying to. He literally said it's a suicide mission, which he bolstered by pointing out that Vince died. The point isn't that they're a man short, it's that people are dying, Jeremy. Jesus.
I'm in.
You saved my life, so the law no longer matters. And in fact, I'm going to break that f***ing law with you.
Hobbs wants revenge on Reyes for killing his man. Keep up. Besides, is it really breaking the law when you're taking down dirty cops and stealing drug money? Because f*** those laws.
All that nonsense about hairpin turns and fast cars avoiding video cameras, and the movie is going to ultimately have them steal the entire safe through tow cable brute force. Because if you're still watching, you certainly don't care. Fast muscle cars can just pull... How much was it, Ludicrous?
10 tons of top-of-the-line security.
Out of a f***ing wall.
Which the movie then shows is possible. I don't get it. Are you asking for a Fast and Furious movie to be realistic, or for it to simply make sense in its own universe? Because asking literally any movie to be realistic is a fool's errand, because none of them are. This is a franchise where street racers have become spies and secret agents. Why is modified muscle cars pulling something heavy where your suspension of disbelief breaks down? I mean, the most unbelievable thing here is a Dodge getting any traction. Mopar and traction go together like peanut butter and sardines.
Dom and Brian very likely kill lots of people and cause millions of dollars of property damage because they're trying to get back at a guy who just wanted a computer chip from a car seized by the DEA. I'm still trying to figure out if this plot is even real.
And somehow, you still wondered aloud whether or not the Fast crew are the bad guys.
They're now pulling a safe that is crashing through a store. I wish this safe were magnetized so we could watch with hilarity as they pull all the cars and boats and planes and jewelry and basically all that shit from Spider-Man 2.
CinemaSins inspires the plot for Fast 9, and that's sinful as shit.
License and registration, please.
Please cut another check to Mr. Gibson.
You know, for all the complaining you're doing about this movie's realism, Roman is the most realistic. He's the only one that retains the goofiness of a street racer being in a ridiculous situation.
How has no one in this movie said the word Hemi yet?
What?
It was always the plan. Take care of Mia.
How was it always the plan when the original plan before The Rock came on board did not involve you f***ing dragging the safe out of town like this?
Probably because the plan he's talking about is the one where he's doing this job to give all the money to Brian and Mia. No one knows what the hell you're talking about or what you even heard.
Just come tomorrow, I will find you.
He's already allowed them to do this crash the safe through Rio thing. He doesn't owe them anything anymore. His character in no way benefits from letting them have 24 hours to go play hide and seek.
Other than this being a thank you for helping him avenge his team?
I know they've been given 24 hours, but I can't believe Hobbs doesn't raid this hideout again. Part of the deal was that they couldn't take the money, and he knows they switched the safes, but he decides to lay off for some stupid reason.
Yeah, the stupid reason known as he doesn't know where the f*** they are. It's a classic, you should try it.
Well, Letty's not dead. I'm sure there will be some terrific explanation for this, considering that dude Phoenix from the last movie asked Dom.
You remember her face? Last time I saw it was burning.
Probably just a twin sister or something. Poor, long-lost, previously unknown and dead twin sister.
I'm almost impressed that Jeremy has basically predicted major plot points of Fast 9. But he predicted the plot points of Fast 9, so my hands are tied.
Let that be a lesson to you, kids. Stealing is totally okay, as long as you steal from a bigger shithead than yourself.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. If you make your money through murder and hard drugs that debilitate your community, I feel like your money is Brittany Renner.
For the streets. I thought so.